Hello, Saints. Greenleaf is a church show, so I think I can say hello, Saints. This is season 3 premiere, part 2, or just episode 2. Right. Okay, so it opens up with Bishop. Bishop can't sleep. Right. He's been regaled to the guest room. That the guest room bed is so bad, so hard, so bad on his back. Although you would think with all that money, they would have a comfortable bed for their guests. Yes, something to think about. Anyway, so he's going to crawl back into the marital bed, which incidentally is a sidebar. I just love that bed. They got this huge California king bed. I think the style is Moroccan. Oh, I'll kill for that bed. It's so beautiful. I've always liked it. First thing I noticed about decor in this whole series. Anyway, he's trying to climb back into it, right? He says, May, we agreed that we were going to put up a good front. And May is no fool. She says, that's for them, not us. Go and sleep on the couch. Right? I don't know who wears the pants in this family. It seems more like she does than anything else. Anyway. So, let me see what happened. She's not going to let him in the bed. If you don't like the guest room bed, then go down and sleep on the couch. Which is what he does. Next thing we see is Grace is called Rochell Cross and sets up a meeting. She wants to get Rochell Cross to get involved with one of these departments of her new program she's starting, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Her thinking is, keep your enemies close. Ain't no way in hell I'd do anything to bring that woman more into the church. These people are not, obviously they're not holy people. There's nothing different about them. They are just as susceptible to temptation, and this girl is pouring on everything on this bishop, trying to get him. So I don't know why Grace would want to take it upon herself to invite this girl to be more involved in the church. In other words, giving her a reason to be there. But that's how Grace sees it. We see Zora. She comes in there to humbly ask her parents for a phone because she needs to make a phone call to Sophia so they can hang out. This girl's in here. She's on punishment. She has no electronics at all. And so she wants some company. Family says, fine. The father hands her the phone, Jacob. And she takes it into the other room. And he said, hold on, Miss Thing. You make your call here. She said, oh, that won't be necessary. She gives it back the phone. Obviously, she wants to call his boy. They should be sitting her down and explain to her about domestic abuse. Maybe this girl is, how could you want to go back to somebody like that? But that's always been the mystery. How do the women go back and they go back and they go back and get punched out and punched out and punched out? I guess that's just the power of love, honey. Although I wouldn't love somebody who's going to make me feel bad when I'm in their presence. I don't know. She thinks she's in love with this boy. May all but calls Grace a slut, where you're traipsing in here late at night. I guess Miss May is good at peeping out that window. She knows when Grace is coming and going, and she accuses her of being a slut, although she didn't use that language, and having premarital sex. Having sex. We're going to see how big a hypocrite May is. It's going to come to a head in this episode. Right. So Grace has been going out and seeing this guy. I think his name is Darius, the reporter. His motives are still not clear. He asked a lot of questions about the Greenleafs, but he don't want to go nowhere near their church. And perhaps he doesn't want to go nowhere near their church because he knows that those people know who he is, because he's done exposés on the Greenleafs before he met her. Right? So, anyway, she's having a relationship with him. May and Bishop hatched this plan. They want to put on a positive front because they're going to try to get this woman in their one of their members to give them $2 million. Now that's some scandalous shit. You are the church. You are the bishop and first lady of the church. You're going to ask this woman to pay your tax bill. God only knows how much money this woman has already given to this church. They consider her one of their biggest benefactors. But $2 million, they're going to, we have to act like we're happily married so we can get this money. Now, they don't say that this is, if it was a loan, it'd be one thing. But if they want this woman to just give them $2 million to pay their taxes, where they apparently have spent all the money that they were supposed to pay for taxes, hell no, that is just scandalous. Scandalous. I can see if they try to raise the money from several different people, but they want this woman to give them $2 million. Black lady. Give them $2 million. I don't know where this woman got this money, but apparently she's well off. She's recently lost her husband. They invite her over for dinner, and they spring it on her. They're looking for $2 million. All right, next thing we see is Grace and Rochell had this meeting. And they want to begin a defense fund. It's called some kind of legal defense fund for victims of domestic abuse. Right. This is what Grace's great idea to bring this woman more and get her involved in the church. She said maybe we can raise 25 grand. And this girl here said, no, let's shoot for 50. I can do that. So now they're in the cahoots together, right? When she leaves there, she meets the bishop in the hall, right? I'm talking about Rochell. Miss Rochelle meets him in the hall. She tells her, you should get a weekly rate at the hotel. Remember this hotel where she was living? She said, oh, it's a weekly rate. You want to pay so much. You don't got to pay those daily rates. And he tells her, informs her, that he has moved back in with his wife. Now, we see off out of his eyesight, she's very disappointed in this. See, this is a setback in her plan, her plot. See, first you have to separate them from the pack before you attack. Anyway, I guess she has to move on. She has to accept that that's a setback and move forward with her plan another way. Okay. Okay. So next thing, Miss Rochelle is just busy all through this church. Next thing she runs into in the hallway. That's what I'm talking about. Why would Grace bring this woman into the church where she's in the halls talking to all these people? Next thing she runs into Lady May. She says, "Oh, how's our Zora?" And she said, "Your Zora, excuse me? What are you talking about?" So she's already kind of onto her. May already doesn't like this woman, right? And they're kind of doing little snide hints at each other. And Rochelle said, "I'm gonna be praying for her, and also for the other Greenleafs." She says, "All of you Greenleafs are on my list." Some people will say your prayer list, but we all know I'm gonna get all of you bitches. And May picks up on it. She didn't like the snide way she delivered that last statement, right? Next thing we see is Miss Clarissa. Now, they made Miss Clarissa a nice person in this. As the story has progressed, Clarissa is now a nice person, and they have a successful marriage, and she's successful on her job, and everything is wonderful. But remember when it first started, Clarissa was the devil. She was the wicked witch of the West. So perhaps living in this little hut of a house has helped her and her attitude, because they've totally changed her character now. She is, I think she's the principal of a school. They show these two parents coming to the school. Their son has made a B in a class, and they don't like it. They want it changed because their son is trying to get in. They mentioned the school, I forget which one it was. One of these highfalutin colleges, right? which he can't get in. I guess he needs a 4.0 average or whatever. He can't accept a B, and they want her to do something about it. So the wife pulls out her paperwork. First, the father reminds her of how much money they've donated to the college, right? Then the wife pulls out her the paper in question here, the paper that got a B. She said, "Read it. Tell me it's not an A." So they basically pressured her into giving this boy an A so he can go on to this Ivy League school. Now, they don't show us that she buckled. All they show us is that she's going to read this thing. And it's almost like a book. What do you call that? I don't even know what you call it. Anyway, the paperwork that the boy did and got a B on it. She's going to read it right in front of him. He'll get his A because they're big donors. They're one of the biggest donors to the school, right? All right. Tasha walks in on Jacob. They haven't been very direct about this flirtation that they have going. It's very, very vague at this point. But Tasha is after Jacob. I think. Flirtatious. She wanted that woman's job, and the woman all of a sudden is fired. So, quiet, boy, quiet. Okay. She walks in his office, and she sees that he is looking at clothing online, women's clothing. And he says he's looking for a gift for his wife, something nice. She says, "Oh no, get her jewelry. Women always take back clothes, because of course they don't fit right. They're not what they choose for themselves. We always take that stuff back. Get jewelry." And so they hatched a plan to go. She wants to take him to her jeweler, the jeweler she uses, where they serve champagne. It's fancy, right? She's always got some gaudy piece of jewelry on. I have not been impressed with any of her clothing or jewelry just yet. Although it looks, if it's all real, it's expensive. So she takes him to her jeweler. She finds this beautiful necklace. She's humming and hollering all about this necklace, right? How beautiful it is. It is a gold and huge pearl necklace. Huge pearls, heavy gold. It's a heavy kind of thing, right? And we can assume that it's real jewelry. He's in the jewelry store to buy it, or they're serving champagne. And she just loves it. She tries it on and all this kind of stuff. Then we see that he is buying it for his wife. He gives the credit card, right? But they made such a point out of how much she loved this necklace, and then how much her husband would buy her jewelry and then take it back because he's got some gambling debt. He asked her all about that. So it's obvious that he's thinking about buying her this necklace because she loves it so much. But he buys the necklace for his wife. So later on, we see that he gives his wife the necklace, right? She loves it, or so she says. But they show us, they make a point of showing us on his phone, they show us Tasha with this necklace on. Now, I'm hoping, writers, that this man wouldn't be so stupid as to buy two necklaces, the same necklace. I mean, they work in and around each other every day. And I'm sure they would attend church, same place. And they would do social events, probably in the same places, in the same circles. So why would he buy two of the same necklaces? That would be dumb. So hopefully the writers have got some other kind of way to tie that in. Maybe she'll run across the phone of the picture of her wearing the necklace. And maybe it'll come up as innocent. Maybe he took the picture of her with the necklace on when he was in the store picking it out for Clarisse. We don't know. So far, it looks like he might have bought both of these people the same necklace. Right? Okay. So this poor woman gives them Greenleafs $2 million. They wrap that up too neatly and too quickly. You need $2 million. You got 90 days to pull it out your ass. And then all of a sudden, somebody just comes and gives it to you. They could have stretched it out a little bit more than that. Or this. I think more could have been done with that storyline. It happened too quickly. They wrapped it up. So, but later on, we're going to see that this could be the nail in the coffin because, well, I'll get to that. I'll get to later on. Okay? About 2 minutes. All right. Okay, the Miss Zora. Now, Miss Zora, she is a troublesome child. My mama used to call them fast-tailed gals with my sisters. My sisters would be hanging around with what she considered the wrong crowd. She would call those girls fast-tailed gals. In other words, the ones who would probably end up pregnant. Anyway, this Zora will not let this damn thing go. Now she done got, well, she did make her call to Sophia. Sophia comes over and figured, oh, they're made up now. Oh, I thought you were mad at me. Oh, I was, but now I've forgiven you. And all this, right? But actually, Miss Zora wants Sophia to go into a Walmart somewhere and get her one of those throwaway phones, those prepaid phones. And to her credit, Miss Sophia tells her, no, I'm not doing that. You're going to go back to that man. He's going to beat you up again. I saw him put his hands on you. And you want to go back to him? No, I'm having no parts of that, which is the right thing to do. Correct? So this girl stole the money out of the collection plate at the church, Calvary. Apparently she took more than $120. She took enough to buy this phone. All this is just to buy a phone to call this asshole. Anyway, I have a feeling something's going to end up tragic in between Zora and this boy. This boy might end up dead. I think in all of these drama things, there's generally somebody going to be dead. That's going to be a climax, right? And he might be the one. Okay. Next thing we see is Sophia talked Jacob into giving this girl back her television, right? She said she's in there by herself and lonely and all this kind of stuff. She ain't got nobody to talk to, so give her back her TV. So maybe, I don't know if she asked her to do that or not, but if Sophia told her that, either Sophia or the father, Jacob, had the wherewithal to know that what she was up to. So she has one of those smart TVs. He brings back the TV, but the access to the internet has been blocked. She will not be able to call Facebook or Twitter either. Correct? All right. Sometimes, though, the more you make people not do something, the more they want to do it. That's why I think it's going to end up in some big tragedy. Maybe it'd be a car accident or something. I don't know. All right. May confronts Bishop about Rochell, and he fires back. They're arguing still. May confronts him about what's going on with Rochell. Now, remember her initial fight was about the information she found out about Mavis. But now it's Rochelle, because Rochelle told that woman in the hallway about their granddaughter being missing. So how does she know that? And so May figures out, puts two and two together and says that you were in that woman's room at that hotel. Right? So she's hot. And he says, you're such a hypocrite. You're looking at everybody else's sin. You got so much to say about everyone else's sin, but you never look at your own. Correct? Then in the basement, I guess he moved down to the basement. Maybe the basement's better on his back, or he got a big recliner or something. I don't know. The next scene is in the basement. In the basement, Grace. Okay. In the basement, Grace confronts him about Rochelle. And the bishop tells Grace about the situation with Lionel. How the mother was May was having an affair, an ongoing affair with one of his best friends, Lionel. And Grace gets hot with this information because her mother has made her sin always exaggerated her sin so much, always been up in her business and not allowing her to spread her legs peacefully. So they had the big confrontation. They've been advertising when she says, "I'm done." Because usually Grace kind of takes her mother's abuse. But now that she sees that she's a slut as well, or she has done this, the same thing that she's accusing everyone else of doing, she has done it as well, and she has done it first. She is no angel. So she confronts her about it. May, of course, will not have any conversation with her daughter about the situation, about the affair she had. And Grace goes off, tells her she's finished. I'm tired of being judged by you. I'm tired of you hating me. And she's done. I don't know why Grace has no desire to live in her own place. Surely they're paying her enough to have her own house or apartment or something. I wouldn't want to live under my parents, but I mean, they have this big spacious mansion kind of thing. Maybe rich people, since they have so much space, the children can just stay on the same house. But seems to me that she would have some desire to get out from under her mother. Anyway. Okay, next thing we see is Charity. Charity finally buckles. She takes the baby over to Kevin's apartment. Kevin's got an apartment. He's got it fixed up. It's obviously a home. He's showed her all the things that she has gotten for the baby. You know, blackout curtains are on the way to be delivered tomorrow, so the baby can sleep and all that. And she finally agrees to it, right? But she's still got the baby in her arms. She's at his apartment. And in walks the lawyer. Now, I don't remember the lawyer's name. I'm sure I'll get it by next episode. Anyway, the lawyer, who I was hoping was still in the picture. I don't want them showing all gay people as always having one night stands and these lovers that just come and go all the time. Let's let them have a relationship. And so let me interject here. I think what's going to come down to is at some point they're going to have a custody. Come here. At some point they're going to have a custody battle, but those two are going to get married. It's my guess. Kevin and the lawyer are going to get married, right? So they're going to be a couple, a gay couple, but a couple nevertheless. And she's going to be a single woman, and they're going to fight over custody. That's just a guess. The writers can go any direction they want to go. It's up to them. But I'm just guessing. Stop, boy. So when Grace sees the boy guy coming in, stop. You want to say hello? Say hello. Hi, I am interrupting again. Hello, what you doing? Do the dance. Look in the camera, boy. Say, hello, people. How you doing? You see how I interrupt things when I want to? I do what I want to do. I do whatever I want to do with my daddy. Get out. Be quiet. Shut up. Come here. Okay. All right. So when this boy, the lawyer, his name will be the lawyer for now, for the moment. When she sees him come in with his own key, she asks in his earshot, does he live here? And she clutches the baby tighter, right? She was just about to hand the baby over to Kevin because Kevin was going to keep the baby while she was out on tour, on the 6-week tour. When she saw him walking in, she clutches the baby tighter and she takes the baby away. So this is where the homophobia piece comes in, because what difference does it make if this guy she should be glad he's still seeing somebody, but they're not at the point in their relationship where they can be happy for each other's relationships, right? They're still at the point where they will be possessive, jealous. But I think the homophobia is, I'm not going to have my child around that. Well, the baby is an infant. Is the baby even a year old? The baby is not aware, oh, that's a man. Oh, they ain't supposed to be together. They don't know all that shit because you have to teach it to them. You have to teach them what's wrong, in your opinion. Anyway, so she refuses to let the baby stay with Kevin. This is going to put more pressure on this relationship she's trying to have, because the guy Jabari, he's very upset that she keeps canceling all these performances, and now she's canceling again. Right? She tries to explain to him, Jabari, and while she's explaining, he hangs up on her. She gets dial tone in the middle of her conversation. So they have a professional relationship and also a romantic relationship. But I think one may play off the other. He's a professional. He ain't going to have her ruining his career. Okay. Grace confronts Rochell she asks her, I shouldn't say she confronts her. They're talking about, first of all, their business. I mean, this fund they're going to raise money for. And then she asks her at the end of that, is there anything going on between you and my father? And Rochell is like, She's clutching her pearls. How could you say that? Everything except answer the question. How could you say that? Oh, I can't believe after all I've done for you, I was going to bring you my best, most successful clients. All this. She walks out, We got to try to read Miss. They do a lot with Miss Rochelle's looks and glances and so forth. When she's out of her eyesight, then she has a little smile as she's in the hallway. And then she turns around and comes back into the office. And she says, oh, we're a woman. We got to stick together and all this kind of stuff, right? Never did answer the question. I don't think she answered the question. If she did answer it, it was a lie. She's certainly trying. And Grace, I think your idea stinks about bringing this woman into the church officially. She was bad enough when she was just showing up everywhere. But by her having a reason to be there, I don't think it helps the situation at all. Okay. So they meet nice again. May barges into the bishop's office. She's mad about the situation where Rochelle knew about the missing granddaughter, right? She feels like this is the only reason she would have knowledge of that is if she was with him when they called him to tell the situation. Correct? And so she assures him. No, she is mad about. Is she mad about that? She's mad about something else now. Everybody's mad this whole episode. She's mad that he. Oh, that's what it was. May is mad at the bishop now because the bishop told Grace about her affair with Lionel. One of her, my dearest, most closely kept secret, my sin. She wanted to be able to judge Grace, and now Grace has got her own ammunition. So that's why this is the last straw for Lady May. She says, at the moment that we get this check for this $2 million and hand it over to the IRS, I'm divorcing your ass. She called him black something. I don't think she used ass, but she's divorcing his black ass. Okay. I think that's it. That's it. Okay, this was the end of the premiere, part 1 and part 2. I'll see you guys next week. Later.